still about 20 bucks a piece, so. All right, welcome to City Hall. Tonight is June 3rd, and we will start our meeting here in just a minute. First, we'll have a short prayer led by Councilman Rick Mihalovich, and then please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
As we prepare to conduct the business of the city, let's pray for guidance and make decisions that are in the best interests of our citizens, and that we pray for the many unsung heroes that are called to duty on their own accord to help others in times of need, such as our recent flooding and other disasters, and for a successful fire training school hosted by our city. In his name we pray.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, once again, welcome to City Hall. We have a beautiful evening tonight. We'll call the meeting to order with roll call led by our clerk.
Branch.
Here.
Bray.
Here.
Carroll. Here. Graham.
Present.
Henry.
Here.
Hussey.
Here.
Mihalovich.
Here.
Prather.
Here.
Schulte.
Here.
Scrivener.
Here.
And we have a quorum tonight. If we could get our former Councilman Dan Clint, and I think he has some people with him here this evening from Shriners. I have a proclamation here to read. Whereas we know this group of men, past and present, help children throughout the world with life-changing medical care through 22 hospitals in our great nation and Canada. Whereas this group of men, known as Shriners International, has been a fabric of our society for nearly a century and a half. Whereas this year marks the 140th anniversary of this Masonic-based organization founded on the principles of brotherly love, relief, and truth. And whereas we have seen, especially Dan, wear these funny hats and driving their little funny cars and parades, each year providing great entertainment for the city and the entire family. Whereas the Capital City Shrine Club are held in the highest esteem, having conducted themselves at all times in a righteous and honorable manner. Therefore, it is my pleasure as mayor of Jefferson City to make June 6th Shriner Appreciation Day. Dan, welcome back. Sure. Go ahead. All right. No, you're good right there. You're good. We have dual photographers tonight. Now, the one here in the green, you don't always want her to take your picture because it may not always be the best of news.
She gets the best ones.
That's right. Well, supposedly, yes, she does. Dan, do you have anything to add, sir? Dan, do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to add?
Yes, sir.
Oh, go right ahead to the podium, sir.
First of all, thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, council persons. I appreciate you all taking your time to recognize our organization. June 6th is Shriner. It's actually the Shriner International Awareness Day all over the world, where we kind of re-energize our nobles. Nobles are our members of our organization. Try and spark some interest in people that are potentially new members of our organization, and to kind of pat ourselves on the back and let other people know of the achievements that we've done with the Shriners since we were formed in 1876. Plus do all the work for the hospitals that we do, where children can come regardless of their ability to pay. So if anybody has any questions about the Shriners, I'd be happy to answer those, and I'll get two out of the way real quickly. Yes, I can fit in a little car, and no, I'm not the clown of the bunch. So if anybody has any questions about the Shriners.
Any questions for Dan?
Yeah, Brad.
Dan, what is the membership? How many people are in the organization at this time?
Well, we, like any other organization, you have probably about 30 people that are really active in the organization, but I think our membership is close to 60 here, and we draw from other Masonic lodges, not just here in Jefferson City, too.
Do you guys have a particular fundraiser that you try to do every year, Dan?
Well, imagine you ask that, Mr. Mayor. We have our annual fish fry on June 17th, and everybody's welcome to come out. And please come by, and we'll feed you for free, probably. But we're happy to have everybody out here. It's June 15th, about 5:30 or 6. Come on down. We'll have fish and all the trimmings, and get to visit with us. I know the sheriff always tries to come out, and we have a little better attendance when it's a political election year, but like all the other things.
All right, any other questions or comments for Dan? Dan, thanks for coming. Appreciate what you do.
Thanks
with the
again for your
Shriners. And
time.
gentlemen, thank you all for being here. I see you've got a Rotarian, at least one out there, maybe more. So it's always good to see a Rotarian in the group too.
And thank you all for what you do every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny. Moving on, under minutes and reports filed here at City Hall, we have the EQ Environmental Quality Commission report, and also Campo Board of Directors. Next, it's time for our council committee reports. First of all, the Admin Committee, which is chaired by Councilwoman Carrie Carroll. Carrie.
Thank you. Administration Committee will meet this Wednesday, June 5th at 8 a.m. across the hall, and we will discuss the outdoor dining permits. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Carrie. Moving on to Finance, Mr. Sean Schulte.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next Finance Committee meeting is June 25th, 7:30 a.m. across the hall. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Mr. Prather with the Public Safety Committee.
We met on the 30th last Thursday, and we discussed topics such as the snow priority, emergency area routes, door-to-door sales qualifications, outdoor warning sirens, and we had talked about the vacation of Chestnut Street, and we have moved that on to Public Works. And our next meeting will be, I believe, the 27th, after the Brown Bagel this month.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Moving on to Public Works and Planning, Mr. Bob Scrivener. Bob.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Public Works and Planning Committee met on Wednesday, May the 22nd, which was a day before our normal meeting date. We had a discussion, quite a lengthy discussion, in fact, about a stormwater issue in Valley View Court. We had a discussion about permissive use of right-of-way for an American flag at the American Red Cross, to install a flagpole to fly the American flag at the American Red Cross. Discussion of permissive use of right-of-way for lamp posts with signage on East McCarty Street. Cell tower leases at 2 locations. A contract change order for the Algoa sewer treatment plant. Discuss sewer connection fees, revision to the forestry article in the city code, which will be brought back again next month to the committee. Transit planning documents, Title 6 LEP, which is on tonight's agenda, in fact. Amendment to Chapter 8.3 on the National Electric Code, CDBG program information, and an issue with a stormwater sinkhole. I got a report on that, and we received contract information for the renewal of the operation, or the consideration of renewal of operation of the yard waste and compost site. The next meeting, I think on this agenda it shows June 27th, but that doesn't sound right to me. I think it's the week before that.
Okay.
So sorry I don't have a date, but I think
Well, it's on our website if anyone
Yeah.
needs it.
If anyone needs it, it is on the website.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else, Bob? All right, moving on. We have some liaison reports tonight. First, cultural arts. Mr. Rick Mihalovich.
We met on May 22nd at 4 o'clock, and the items that were discussed was the formation of a not-for-profit foundation to support the arts, a public mural that will be commissioned, an artist commissioned to do some artwork on some public buildings. There's September going to be a art installation on a roundabout in front of the Menards around Hyde Park, and an additional sculpture at the next roundabout that would be kind of a sister-brother kind of sculpture that will occur in September, and along with that a fundraiser. The next meeting will be the 26th of June at 4 o'clock.
All right, any questions, Rick? Thank you, sir. Moving on, JCTV, Mr. Larry Henry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Our last meeting for JCTV was May 23rd, a couple of weeks ago. Main topic of discussion was performance metrics. Drew Hilpert had actually put together something in that regard. I think that was something that's had been lacking for a while with JCTV. They're going to review that and get back in our next meeting. We'll discuss that, any changes they'd like to make to it. Also, we discussed more fundraising measures they'll use, and also new memberships. Our next meeting will be June 27th at 2 p.m.
All right, thank you, Larry. Moving on, Board of Adjustments, Mr. Carlos Graham. Carlos.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to remind the community about the next Board of Adjustment meeting that will take place on June the 11th at 7:30 a.m. here in this chamber. There is one item on the agenda in which they will be discussing a possible package store on the corner of Dix and West Main. So please come out and either support or be against.
All right, thank you, Carlos. Anything else tonight? Okay, seeing none, no appointments tonight by the mayor. Presentations from staff, consultants, and invited guests. We have Miss Jamie Abbott with us this evening, who's our CDVB development person, correct? Well, welcome. This is your first meeting?
Not exactly.
Okay.
I've been here before.
Well, good. Well, welcome back.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to present before you all. Tonight I'm going to be discussing about the Community Development Block Grant, or referred to as the CDBG program. The CDBG program is a HUD program, and the city of Jefferson receives entitlement funds directly from HUD each year. About approximately, it can range, right now we're ranging about $200,000 a year from HUD. Go ahead. The goals of the CDBG program, there's 3 goals. There is to provide decent housing, expand economic opportunities, and create a suitable living environment. But there's always a catch. There's always requirements that have to be met through HUD, and those requirements is that 51% of the funds have to, 70% of the funds have to go to individuals who are low to moderate income. There's urgent threat and safety, and then there's elimination of slum and blight. So basically, any projects that we do with the HUD funding has to fall into that national objective. Right up there on the screen, I have a census map of Jefferson City. It's kind of hard to see, but the area is bounded by Industrial to Dix Road, Southwest Boulevard, Ellis Boulevard, Morrill Drive, Clark Avenue to Riverside. So basically, the area that is outlined in green, and I apologize, it's hard to see, that whole area encompass is a low to moderate area. So basically, if we were to use CDBG funds within that area, we would automatically meet the 51% LMI objective. So for example, if we were to do infrastructure improvements, like such as sidewalks, it would automatically meet the 51% LMI objective. I had placed a handout on your all's desk in front of you before the meeting of the eligible activities, and this is pursuant to 24 CFR 570. It's a pretty lengthy list. I think there's about approximately 63 or 66 eligible activities, wide range of activities that could be completed, such as property acquisition, water treatment storage, storm sewers, flood and drainage, all the way down to homeowner assistance programs. Currently, the city has essentially 4 areas that we use the HUD funding for right now, which is public improvements, neighborhood improvements, homeowner programs, and homeless prevention. On the screen there, I have the accomplishments for the past 4 years. From 2009, there was an approximate allocation of $320,000 to 2012, which we only had $227,000. So here's some accomplishments. I'm going to go over what CDBG funds have completed in the last several years. On the screen I have the old Munichburg area. We had completed streetscape lighting and furnishings. This is a parking lot, I believe right beside Shep's restaurant, and Echo Lounge as well. This is a picture of the annex building on, well, of course I don't have the address down. Monroe, thank you. And what was completed there was a roof replacement and did some rehabilitation work on the inside of the building, doing fresh paint and carpet. And then here's some public improvements. This is at 830 East Miller Street, which is the transit building. We had ADA accessibility and installation of some stairs. This is at, I believe, at the Lincoln University President's House, which we had completed some accessibility improvements. And this is just right outside the City Hall, where we have completed some ADA accessibility, as well as our restrooms here in City Hall. And then community facilities. This is the Common Ground Community Center over on 1015 Atchison Street. And the neighborhood improvements, this is a project that we're hoping to get moving fairly quickly. This is Mulberry Street, which is a flood buyout with assistance with the State of Missouri CDBG program. And for this property, or for this location, the properties will be deed restricted from future construction because of the location of the floodplain. Here's another demolition project for removal of slum and blight, national objective. And that property will be a deed restricted as well. We also, the city has some homeowner assistance programs. Energy efficiency is one of them. These are pictures of 3 houses that were assisted with the program. Repairs include repairs to broken windows, weather stripping, air sealant, repairing crack foundations, installing some insulation, replacing doors. And these are all done. What's completed first is an energy audit on the property to determine what needs are needed in order to make the house more energy efficient. And once again, this benefits low to moderate income individuals. This is our code deficiency program. Code deficiency assists homeowners with, of course, code deficiencies on the outside of their property. These are 4 properties that were assisted, including replacing roof, gutters, downspouts, replacing fascia, gutters. The one on the bottom left-hand corner, it was a driveway replacement, which included excavation of 2 walls, driveway, and widening the driveway as well. And then the last one is replacing deck and stairs in the rear, and installing a handrail as well on the porch. Okay, so with a wide range of eligible activities, how are these decisions made on how to expend the CDBG funds? Someone may be asking. It's through the consolidated plan. The city has to complete a consolidated plan once every 5 years. It acts as an application to HUD, and the consolidated plan essentially helps the city identify priority needs, goals, incorporation of plans and actions, and specific resources in order to accomplish the HUD's goals, which I had talked about in the beginning, which was decent housing, creating suitable living environment, and expanding economic opportunities. What's included in the consolidated plan is a description of the responsible entity and the process that was undertaken to develop the plan, a housing and homeless needs assessment, housing market analysis, and a strategic plan. So the current consolidated plan, which was for 2009 to 2013, the priorities that were identified out of that plan was to improve and maintain older housing stock, assist LMI families to purchase and maintain a home, and improve and protect neighborhoods by assisting in demolition and emergency issues. This slide is talking about other potential programs. I had gone out to other entitlement communities that receive HUD funds, and other entitlement communities have programs such as rental assistance, crime deterrence, including strategic lighting, infrastructure improvements, nonprofit assistance, which meaning is having a sub-grantee agreement with the nonprofits to do the work that is of eligible, so like assisting with a domestic violence shelter, assisting with the Salvation Army as an example, and redevelopment strategies for economic opportunities, and then there's fair housing testing. What to keep in mind is that 70% of the funds must be expended on low to moderate individuals or areas. There's a 15% cap on public assistance since the nonprofit assistance, and the remaining funds can be used towards the removal of slum and blight, such as demolition activities. Okay, so the 2014 to 2018 consolidated plan, we're in process of starting to plan and develop that plan. The public hearing is June 10th, next Monday. As part of the consolidated plan process, there is a needs assessment survey that is posted out on our website. We're going to be accepting the survey through July 31st. Hopefully by August, if not September, we'll have a draft plan available, which would identify the needs that came out of the survey. And then in October, we hope to have the plan adopted by council, and then statutory requirements require the plan to be due to HUD on November 15th. Is there any questions?
Jamie, thank you very much. Any questions of Ms. Abbott? Bob.
Thank you for that report. I noticed the building on Monroe is a city building, and we used funds to repair the roof, which it needed the roof repaired. How was that prioritized? How was that building selected, given the criteria that you pointed out to us?
It's my understanding that the Old Town Community Group was utilizing the building, and possibly along with other community organizations, and so I believe it was identified as it would had to have been identified as a need within the consolidated plan. In order for us to expend any of the funds, it has to be identified as a priority need. So it might have been through a previous survey that a lack of community facilities were available. Unfortunately, that was before my time coming to the city, and that's what, from going through the files, that's basically what I've came upon, I guess you could say.
Okay.
Hopefully that answers.
I'm okay with it. I just wondered, I've got another thing in mind, so
okay.
That's why I'm asking.
All right.
Thanks.
Any other questions for Jamie? Rick?
Is it possible you could go back to that one slide where it showed how much we were getting 4 or 5 years ago and then now?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Do we anticipate those funds to continue to slide?
Yes, I do. Just because I like to be a naysayer until, I hear that we get more funds than what was anticipated, but due to the previous slides, and decrease in amounts, you can see that 2010 had $350,000, and I believe that was probably due to stimulus funding. And HUD's been cutting back on the funding amount just because of, the appropriations are given through Congress, and then this year, due to sequestration, additional funding is anticipated being cut 5% across board is my understanding. So that's why I'm anticipating only $200,000.
Good, Rick.
Are you still doing the bus passes for this year?
Yes, we are still handing out bus passes. I don't have 2013 up there just yet because we are the program year starts January 1 through December 31st, and due to sequestration, we have not received our funding this year. So we are still handing out bus passes from prior year's funding.
Okay. And then the last thing is, I know I have some folks that have been interested in what the new plan will look like, and so I need to guide them towards the June 10th meeting?
Correct,
and
yes.
That's where at?
And that is here in the council chambers.
At
4 o'clock.
Okay.
It's 4 to 6, and if they have any additional questions, you can direct them to me.
Okay, any more questions for Jamie? Okay, seeing none, Jamie, thank you very much for being here and welcome back to City Hall. Next we have fire station groundbreaking, Nathan Nicholas.
Yes, we're very pleased that the groundbreaking for the new fire station number 3 will take place on June the 6th, 7th, at 2 o'clock. Give the nod. And we've scheduled that so that it will accommodate the fire school, and we're hoping that a lot of people will come out to that. We're very pleased with that great step forward, and we want to share it with everyone.
All right, thank you, Nathan. Moving on underneath the consent agenda, at this point in time, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Next, we'll move into bills introduced. First reading of 2013-20.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri approving an amended preliminary PUD plan for property located at 216 El Mercado Plaza, described as part of Lot 6 of El Mercado Development, Section 1, Jefferson City, Cole County, Missouri.
Janice, welcome.
Thank you. The Planning and Zoning Commission considered this plan at their meeting in May, and the applicant at this time is requesting approval to institute a private school in this building. Previously, this building had been approved for various uses, including offices and more recently a commercial laundry. The commercial laundry plan is no longer an option, and so at this time the applicant would like to have the opportunity to use this building for a private school. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Janice on 2013-20? All right, seeing none, we'll have first reading of 2013-21.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri providing for the voluntary annexation of real property contiguous to the present city limits into the City of Jefferson, Missouri, located to the rear of 1206 Boonville Road, described as part of the southeast corner of Section 27, Township 45 North, Range 12 West, in the County of Cole, State of Missouri, and amending Section 117 of the Code of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, defining the existing city boundary by adding one new subsection pertaining to the same subject.
Janice.
Thank you, Mayor. This strip of land was recently acquired by the city for a wastewater project, and since it's owned by the city, we thought we would actually incorporate it and bring it into the city boundary. So that's the purpose of this bill. It's a little under 5 acres. To access it, you have to drive down Boonville Road, and the old Boonville Road, actually, you go down that way and go across the railroad tracks, and that's how you get to the property. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed the zoning plan at their meeting and recommended RC rural zoning. And public hearing on this matter will be at the next meeting on June 17th.
All right, next we have first reading of Bill 2013-22.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, accepting and approving the final subdivision plat of Trolley Square subdivision, a subdivision of the City of Jefferson, Missouri.
Janice.
Thank you, Mayor. This property is located on East High Street, about 300 feet east of Lafayette. Basically, what's going on with this particular property is 2 lots are being combined into 1 lot so that an accessory structure can be constructed. And the structure is an accessory to the residential use. The Planning and Zoning Commission reviewed the subdivision at their meeting in May and recommended it be approved.
Any questions of Janice on 2013-22? Okay, moving on, I'm going to recuse myself from 2013-23, and I'll call on Pro Tem Scripper.
An ordinance amending the code of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by allowing a journeyman electrician to have 2 apprentices.
Thank you. In our Chapter 8 code, which is the building code, there is a section adopting the National Electrical Code. Section 80.26.4 of the National Electrical Code defines how many apprentice electricians may be assigned to 1 journeyman electrician. At the current time, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. At their May meeting, the Electrical Board of Licensing and Review recommended that ratio be increased to 1 journeyman to 2 apprentice. And that's what this bill would do. It would allow 1 additional apprentice per journeyman.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. McMillan? Okay, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Bob. Moving on, first reading of 2013-24.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with New Singular Wireless PCS AT&T LLC for lease of a property for a cell tower near Hyde Park Road.
Mr. Drew.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a new lease with the city with AT&T, one of their subsidiaries. It would be created to build a new tower in Hyde Park by the benches across from the animal shelter. The rent's $1,000. We get a 10% cost share, and the rent increases. It's a 5-year lease, and it with 5 renewals, and it increases 15% each time we renew.
All right, any questions of Drew or anyone else on staff on that? Next, we'll have first reading of 2013-25.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with Unisite LLC American Tower for lease of a property for a cell tower behind Fire Station 3.
Drew.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is also a cell phone tower lease, our current existing lease for the tower behind Fire Station 3, existing Fire Station 3. This would extend it for 25 years at 5-year increments. The rent would go from $12,000 some odd dollars to $18,000. It goes up $450 per month. And we do have a rental a profit share agreement of 30%. So each time they get a new customer, we get 30% of that rent. The question has been asked a couple of times in other meetings: if we sell off the fire station, how would this be dealt with? We intend to do a parcel division to divide that into 2 lots. We will keep the back lot with an access easement so that we'll keep the rent from the cell tower if we sell off the fire station.
Would it be, I just have a question, would it be the plan someday to sell that station after the new station's built?
Probably, there's some ideas floating
Looks like
around
I'm
about that.
getting 2 nods, so the 2 heads that should know. That's good. Okay. Someone asked, of all people, Darla asked me that the other day, and I said I think we are. But
Yep.
Question. Okay, moving on, first reading of 2013-26.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with JC Industries Incorporated for the Ellis Boulevard Sidewalks 300 to 600 block project.
Mr. Marash.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. As the clerk indicated, this is a construction contract. The low bidder was JCI, a local bidder here in town, to build a sidewalk project from basically the roundabouts at Tanner Bridge and Ellis over to the bank by Highway 54. project not only includes the sidewalk, but some new curb and gutter will solve some drainage issues and reconfigure some bus stops in the area. And city staff recommends approval.
Any questions of Matt? Bob?
Matt, is that sidewalks on one side or both sides of the street?
One side.
And it'll be the side that is across from the Y or on the same side as the Y?
Be across from the Y. The bus stop I'm talking about is on the Y side,
That's
but
what I
we'll
was
create
thinking.
a crossing at the signal and tie that into that crossing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions of Matt on that? Next we'll have first reading of 2013-27.
An ordinance amending Section 19, Motor Vehicles and Traffic, Schedule G, Stop Intersections, Subparagraph B, Other Specified Intersections of the Code of the City of Jefferson by the addition of Marion Drive at Ridgewood Drive.
Mr. Matt?
Yeah, thank you. As the clerk indicated, this is addition of a stop sign in our code. The request was from the someone in the neighborhood on a low-volume residential street and went through TNT, and that group recommended approval to the council.
All right, thank you. Any questions there, Matt, on 28? Okay, moving on, we'll have 27, we'll have first reading of 2013-28.
An ordinance amending the Code of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by establishing procedures pertaining to the application for and acceptance of grants.
Drew?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As you know, one of the things we've been trying to improve on at the city staff level is our grants and administration. For years, the auditors have not liked our process, and so this is one solution. We've got some internal fixes and procedures, but this is one that involves council. This would make uniform our application process and how the council approves it. The bill would establish a process whereby all applications would be approved by resolution of the council before they're made. And once we get the letter of approval, it will come back to the council on the consent agenda. That consent agenda will include a memo from the city administrator that will include at least the name of the grantor, the amount of the grant, the purpose of the grant, any matching requirements or future obligations, the CFDA number, the grant award number, and the revenue and expense amount to be amended. And then if the council approves it on the consent agenda, the city administrator will have the power to amend the budget in the proper places. The intent is not to show that as revenue until we actually get the money in. So we change the revenue that comes in and change the expense account that comes in. I think the auditors have, I think they've looked at it and they're okay with it and got the big thumbs up, so they're good with it. And if any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Any questions for Drew or Bill on 28? Seeing none, we'll have first reading. I'm sorry, we're going into bills pending now. We'll have third reading of 2013-15.
An ordinance amending Chapter 1, General Provisions of the Code of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by increasing minimum penalties for fines.
Mr. Rick?
I'd like to add a substitute bill, motion to add a substitute bill for 2013-15.
Okay, do we have to read that also or not? No. Okay. At this point in time, there's a motion on the floor to bring up 2013-15 as substituted. Drew, do you want to tell us what substitute does?
Yeah, very much. There were two changes to be made. The parking division pointed out that their parking ticket writers can't write 50 cents increments. So this rounds off the tickets that they write to an even number. We're slaves to technology. And Prosecutor Stumpy had noticed there was some incorrect math on unlawful assembly that should have been, if we kept with our 3%, should have been, or $15, it should have been $211.50. And so we made that change too. So that we've kept all the changes of equal amounts. And then the parking tickets are even numbers.
Okay. With that being said, there's a motion to suspend. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been
Motion
moved and
to the substitute.
Oh, substitute. I said suspend. Sorry, my bad. Discussion on the substitute. Okay. Seeing no discussion, we'll have voice vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Now we'll talk about 2013-15 as substituted.
Just briefly, the prosecutor had noticed, I think in working with Councilman Henry particularly, had noticed that the fines were getting a little old and should be brought up to reflect kind of a current modern day fine. Some of the fines were so small as to not be a deterrent. While the prosecutor and judge always have the discretion to go higher if they like, this makes their life a bit easier, so they've got kind of a schedule that's allowed they can point to And with the volume they've got, they think this is a benefit to them, plus keeps the tools or the fines up to date. And this was a recommendation from him.
Drew, let me ask you this, not to put you on the spot,
Sure.
but I'm sure you'll have a pretty good answer. How is our accounts receivable as far as our fines in general? Not an exact number, but is it better than what it was a couple of years ago?
It has
'Cause I
been
know
trending
we
up.
had a little trouble there a few years ago.
We did a couple of years. It peaked some years ago. Nathan probably knows 2008, 7. Anyway, it peaked in the latter half of the 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. It peaked and then dropped down a pretty good amount. It has continued to climb back up, so the fines are increasing. Collections are always difficult in municipal court. That's the hardest part. Getting the fine in is easy, but a lot of their job ends up being collections on it. So it is trending up. We're not quite up to the highest level yet, but we're certainly headed the right way.
Good. Okay, any questions for Drew on 2013-15? Not seeing debate. I feel like you're ready to vote. All those in favor? Actually, we'll have roll call.
Branch,
Aye.
Bray,
Aye.
Carroll,
Aye.
Graham,
Aye.
Henry,
Aye.
Hussey,
Aye.
Mahalovich,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Scrivener.
Aye.
And that motion passes. Next, we'll have third reading of 2013-16.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the 2012-2013 budget of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by recognizing revenue and appropriating additional funds within the Park Fund.
Mr. Lockwood.
Thank you, Mayor. As the clerk indicated, this bill recognizes an insurance settlement on property damage due to windstorm at several park buildings and appropriates those funds for demolition, repair, and cleanup.
Any questions of Bill? Seeing none, debate. Roll call, please.
Bray,
Aye.
Carroll,
Aye.
Graham,
Aye.
Henry,
Aye.
Hussey,
Aye.
Mahalovich,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Scrivener,
Aye.
Branch.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we'll have third reading of 2013-17.
An ordinance amending the 2012-2013 budget of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by reclassifying a position within the Police Department.
Chief. I'm sorry, Gail, or both.
Thank you. Okay, this position requests a reclassification of a building service worker in the police department to a police maintenance worker position. We have one employee who was the building service worker for City Hall and the Annex who took advantage of our SIP program and retired 2 months ago. So as a result, the two building service workers in the police department are being asked to take over these two additional buildings. Therefore, we have one of those employees who's going to be responsible for all of the maintenance, upkeep, any type of maintenance work as far as painting or repairs or things like that of the two buildings. And so as a result, we feel as though that position should be reclassified to a police maintenance worker.
Okay, anything to add, Chief?
No, we've, other than to say we've had particularly one individual who's done even more than that for many years. So I think there'll be a smooth transition
Okay.
and something that should be done.
All right, any questions by council? Debate? Roll call, please.
Carroll,
Aye.
Graham,
Aye.
Henry,
Aye.
Hussey,
Aye.
Mahalovich,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Scrivener,
Aye.
Branch,
Aye.
Bray.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we'll go into resolutions. First resolution is 2013-13.
A resolution authorizing the City of Jefferson to apply for the 2013 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance JAG Program Grant.
Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As the clerk just read, this resolution will authorize the police department to apply for a U.S. Department of Justice grant. It's a formula block grant. Purpose is to purchase law enforcement equipment. There's no match required. We received notice today that the total grant will be $18,477, of which 60% will be used by the city and 40% shared with Cole County. So our funds that we would receive would be $11,086.20.
Any questions of Chief on 2013-13? Seeing none at this point in time, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Branch,
Aye.
Bray,
Aye.
Carroll,
Aye.
Graham,
Aye.
Henry,
Aye.
Hussey,
Aye.
Mahalovich,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Scrivener.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we'll have, excuse me, Resolution 2013-15. 14. Thank you,
A
Clerk.
resolution of the City of Jefferson adopting the 2013 Title VI program, including Title VI non-discrimination, limited English proficiency, and public involvement plans for JeffTran.
Janice.
Thank you, Mayor. Basically, the recipients of federal transportation funds and operators of federally funded public transportation are required to adopt programs and plans for non-discrimination, limited English proficiency, and public involvement. On the Title VI non-discrimination plan, briefly, the city councilor is named as the Title VI coordinator, and what that means is there's a responsibility to track any discrimination complaints, investigate those complaints, and report them to the FTA on an annual basis. We also are required to notify the public how to file a civil rights complaint. On the limited English proficiency plan, there's a requirement under the Title VI civil rights provisions to identify populations which may need language assistance. And in Jefferson City, there aren't that many people who require language assistance, less than 2%, but we are still required to offer an ability to communicate with persons who do not speak English well, and that's what this limited English proficiency plan does. It helps the staff put together documents and an assistance plan to help people ride transit and be able to find their way around Jefferson City using transit. On the public involvement side, there was a public involvement plan adopted by the council by resolution in 2007, and this plan would replace that one. And so it identifies how the public will be involved in decision-making that affects transit. All of these requirements have been in place for a little while, but the new thing is that there's a new FTA circular that requires the governing body to recognize and adopt all of these plans so that the governing body is aware of its responsibilities under these programs. And so that's why all of these documents are coming to you at this time. This is a 3-year plan, so in 3 years, the revisions will be back in front of you again. But after this is adopted, it will go to the FTA and satisfy that requirement that we adopt these plans.
Okay. Any questions of staff? Seeing none, roll call, please. Oh, I'm sorry, we need a motion and a second.
I move that we adopt the resolution.
Okay.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Mr. Carlos Graham. Discussion. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Graham,
Aye.
Henry,
Aye.
Hussey,
Aye.
Mahalovich,
Aye.
Prather,
Aye.
Schulte,
Aye.
Scrivener,
Aye.
Branch,
Aye.
Bray,
Aye.
Carroll.
Aye.
Next, we'll move into any new business to bring before the council this evening. Oh, which one?
15.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. First reading of let's just read 2013-15.
A resolution authorizing the city administrator to execute and file documents associated with the Community Development Block Grant Program, Title I of the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974, administered by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
At this point in time, we'll entertain a motion to accept.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded by Rick this time. Janice.
Thank you, Mayor. This resolution would authorize the city administrator to execute the documents associated with the CDBG program. As you are familiar, there's an endless stream of documents that come before you or have been coming before you requiring your approval. And so in place of that, the city administrator would be authorized to authorize those filings.
Okay. Any questions of staff? Discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Henry, Hussey.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Scrivener.
Aye.
Branch.
Aye.
Bray.
Aye.
Carroll.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Next, new business. Any new business to bring before the organization tonight? Seeing none, any unfinished business to bring before the organization tonight? Seeing none, next we'll have approval of closed session minutes from May 20th and May 28th. At this point in time, we'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion? Seeing none, voice vote, please. All in favor? Oh, I get the sign from the dugout that says roll call. Roll call, please.
Hussey.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schulte. Scrivener.
Aye.
Branch.
Aye.
Bray.
Aye.
Carroll.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, pursuant to Section 610.021 of the state statutes of Missouri, we will now have a vote to go into closed session, talk about real estate, and especially number 2.
So moved.
It's been moved, Dan.
Second.
Seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Branch.
Aye.
Bray.
Aye.
Carroll.
Aye.
Graham.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Hussey.
Aye.
Mahalovich.
Aye.
Prather.
Aye.
Schulte.
Aye.
Scrivener.
Aye.
Okay, that wraps up our meeting tonight. We'll see you here in a couple weeks. Enjoy your ride home.